BRP snippet number 18, Exodus chapter 2. Here we see the story, the birth of Moses. And we all know the story that Moses was placed in a basket and floated to the Pharaoh the palace, and Pharaoh's daughter took care of Moses, even though that Moses' mom was still the one who nursed him. What a way that God used even the enemies at the time, enemy of God's people, to be instrument to feed, to care, to protect the people of God. Before that, He used His people to deliver the people of God out of the hand of the Egyptian. Now Moses grew up in Pharaoh's house, and he of course he he saw the burdens of his people, and he saw two men were fighting together, one Egyptian and one Hebrew, his own people. At that time still called Hebrew and not Israelite yet, or interchangeably used the word Hebrew and Israelite. And so he looked in this way and that way. Nobody saw. He think that nobody saw. Then he struck down, meaning that he killed the Egyptian. He murdered the Egyptian, hit him in the sand, and he thought that going to be a savior. He think that he's going to save his own people, Hebrew, from the hand of the Egyptian. But little did he know that his attempted temporal. Just how long that he gonna think that before Pharaoh find out? So the next day he saw two Hebrew, his own people, were fighting together, and this time he just tried to be like, hey, look guys, don't fight each other. Why you strike your companion? And his own people said, who made you a prince and a judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as kill the Egyptian? So they saw Moses, instead of try to support him, but they turn out and say, hey, who made you over prince? So even against Moses. So his savior mentality did not save himself, even his own people, because God has a better purpose. So anytime you and I try to save our own situation in our own way, we think of the best. I'm thinking of modern day, or people think that they can save a country by demonstration, by doing all kinds of violence, and they think that because they saw maybe some temporal success. But if God is gonna deliver a country of nation, He's gonna use His people and His plan, and His people has to follow His plan. And we see here, so Moses fled to the land of Midian, and it's just a side note that somehow Moses escaped Egypt, and he landed up in the land of Midian, and he got married. I don't know, but some of you, maybe seem to, escape from your own country and end up here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and some of you got married here. And it's not my recommendation, not that's the formula. But I know that if God put you here, He certainly, if you're single, He certainly has a plan for you. I'm not saying that you have to marry a Vietnamese girl, but the story, that's a side note, right? So the story went on and said that he basically also he saved the girl and still have his macho, his manly, and he protected the daughter who drew out the water from the well from the shepherd. Shepherd here could be guys that taking in the flock, and they could be like a little bit of mob gangster, try to harass the girl, and that's why usually the girl has to waited for so long before they drink, satisfy all the water. This is the wilderness, the desert, and before she can draw the water. That's why the father said, why you came home so early today? Oh, it ended up Moses is the hero, and so I think the father impressed, and he stayed, and then he got married. The story turned out, and you read Exodus chapter 2 and say, so Moses content and dwelt with the man named the father, and gave Moses his daughter Zipporah, and she gave a birth to a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a sojourner in a foreign land. So Moses escaped from Egypt, He became a sojourner in a foreign land. And many of you here listen to this clip. In a way, you are a sojourner. We all are sojourner. Even now, living in my own country, this is not our eternal home. This is our temporal tent, our temporal earthly place and tent and housing. We have eternal home together, and we all have been sojourner in a foreign land. And this is in the case of Moses, that and the people cry out to God for deliverance. And in verse 23, that they say, those who have many days the king Egypt died, and the people Israel groan because of their slavery and cry out for help. God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham. When the Bible said God remember, doesn't mean that he forgetful and say, oh, sorry, I forgot about you. No, the word the word remember mean that he was touched. He always remember. He also remember the covenant with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. And God saw the people of Israel, and God knew. So he just, his timing is different from us. He's going to use Moses under his guidance to deliver his people out, the greatest empire at that time, the greatest oppressor. Not even by guns or weapon, but really by his power. And of course, the rest of the story, Exodus, told us a miraculous deliverance. So my hope and my prayer for us, all of us want to save ourselves from certain situation, or even try to be a savior to others. Although it may help a little bit temporarily, but never be a total solution, because the total solution is going to be found in the person of Jesus Christ, who's the ultimate Savior. We all sojourner in the land. God remember the covenant with his Son, which is the ultimate covenant, the covenant of blood, Jesus Christ. And then some of you are crying right now with the pandemic, even though that there's no oppression from this land. But the calamities, the job, losing the job, pay cut, all of that, all the fear, all the mixed feeling, the financial situation, you seem like crying and groaning. And you and I should be encouraged that God remember the covenant with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and ultimately Jesus Christ. God saw Christ's follower, and God knew them, because through the Son we have peace with God, relationship, reconciliation with God. So that's my hope and my prayer for us, as we are sojourner in this land together. Don't try to be a savior. Don't think that you can save yourself, but trust in the Savior. And let us sojourn together in this foreign land, because we take courage and be secure in the memory of God. That is the covenant, the blood covenant with his Son. I will see you in the next snippet.